We pulled some of your best comments and questions from our YouTube videos this week, and we're putting them to the test. This is Straight From You, where we fact-check claims, separate fact from fiction, and add context to what's murky. So here's what stood out this week. Let's clear up a viewer's question who said this: I thought the Smithsonian was self-sufficient. Why are tax dollars funding it? And why does the post office stay open? All right, so here's how it works. The Smithsonian runs 21 museums, the National Zoo, and a network of research centers. About 60% of its funding comes from Congress. So when the government shuts down, it does too. Once the leftover funds run out, the doors closed. Exhibits go dark, and the zoo's animal cams switch off. However, caretakers and security still report for duty. The U.S. Postal Service, on the other hand, is not taxpayer-funded. It's an independent agency that runs on sales from postage and shipping, so your mail keeps moving, shut down or not. So the difference comes down to who pays the bills. Smithsonian, federal dollars. Post office, self-funded. That's why you can still get your mail, but cannot visit the museums. All right, number 2. There's confusion over the federal indictment of New York Attorney General Letitia James. Her supporters call the bank fraud charges baseless, but the indictment documents clearly exist. So what does baseless mean? In the James case, it's a political and legal claim. Her team argues the motive for the federal prosecution is baseless, that it's a vindictive or selective case, stemming from President Trump's desire for revenge. But factually baseless charges are also a technical legal tool used in some state courts, as detailed in the Marquette Lawyer. This is an intentional plea bargain where a defendant pleads guilty to a lesser crime that the evidence doesn't support to avoid conviction on a more serious charge that the evidence does support. The key distinction: the Letitia James case is federal, where that state-level plea tactic is banned. On to number 3. A viewer commented that the terms hostage and prisoner are biased. The distinction is legal, but also a hotly debated topic. Under international law, taking a hostage is a war crime. It means seizing someone to compel a third party to do something. Those taken by Hamas on October 7th are legally considered hostages because they were captured as bargaining chips. The status of Palestinians in Israeli captivity is more complex. Some are prisoners convicted of crimes in court, but NPR reports thousands were administrative detainees and held for long periods without charges or a trial. Some UN experts argue these detainees also meet the legal definition of hostages, claiming they are used as leverage. Other groups strongly reject this, calling it a false equivalency.